Yeah.
Work, 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 work. See me work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. Cause I'm about that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. In the cafe, Martel.
It's just entertainment purpose. It's not. It's just entertainment purpose. It's not.
In the case of anybody.
This is just entertainment purpose. It's not.
Hi, hotties, kettles, tea stirrers. You're here for hot tea. All commentary is alleged, and in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta aired on Sunday, and it was a lot going on that I definitely want to talk about. This video might be as long as my Love and Marriage Huntsville recap as well, because it's a lot of serious issues we got to break down in these reality shows that they just bypassing like it ain't nothing. So if y'all want to hear my thoughts and opinions, go ahead and keep on watching. Go ahead and hit that post notification bell and subscribe so you are up to date each and every time that I upload, and you can be up to date with all of the latest Love and Marriage Huntsville drama. Y'all get in the comments and y'all let me know how you felt about this episode. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you rate this episode. I will have to say this episode was definitely hot. It was a 10, honestly, but Sheree is just a dunce. Now, I initially thought Sheree was going to be able to be an ally for Mel for her show, but I am just now discovering that Sheree might be the biggest dummy on the planet, and I'm sorry. Next to, I just don't know what it is with these women. You got Kimmy over there getting played. Like, Maurice is running circles around her, and I don't understand why and how she's allowing him to do that. You got Tisha over there getting played. You got this girl, she done got swept into the Huntsville mindset. Like, I don't understand. Like, I thought you was old and cold, Sheree. Like, I don't know, y'all. Let's get into it. So the episode basically finishes off where it left off, which is with Kandi walking away from the very animated girl, and I'm sorry, I forgot her name already. In my opinion, I felt Kandi on that entire situation. The girl definitely was very animated. She was doing too much and wanted a scene, and Kandi gave it to her. So they're walking away. People are intervening. It looked like the girl is still talking junk from behind Sanya. Todd come and gets his wife and walks her over to the side, and everybody breaks away. Marlo is kind of laughing because she ain't in the bull, and she is very surprised that everybody is acting like this, and it's all this drama going on, and she don't got nothing to do with it, and I'm kind of surprised as well. Mind you, while this is going on, Kenya, Sheree, and Monyetta are still over in the corner having a conversation about Hotel. Kenya clarifies that it was about 6 months ago, and Sheree is giving Hotel a look and calling him near. But while that is going on, the camera cuts back over to Kandi. Kenya is basically walking up to her to go and check on her, and she's asking her what's going on. Is she okay? Kandi is asking her, like, why is the girl bouncing up in my face like that? And Sanya basically lets her know, okay, I don't know. She was doing too much. I told her she was doing too much. That's Sheree friend. I had a conversation with her the other day, and she was saying that she kind of had some issues with you, but she didn't think it was that serious. And so Kandi says in her interview or in her confessional, like, why didn't Sanya tell her about what was going on, and then just had this girl pulling up to the event without knowing that the girl had a problem with her? And I agree with Kandi. In my opinion, Sanya is fake, and we're going to get to know more about her fakeness in her and Kandi's next sit down. So while that is going on, Marlo rushes over to Sheree, and she's like, girl, Kandi almost beat your friend up. Kandi almost beat her up or something like that. And so Sheree like, almost beat who up? And so she go check on her friend, and I don't know the girl name no more. Oh, Courtney. So she go check on Courtney, and you know, everybody disperse. So Kenya and Monyetta, they go looking for Kandi, while Sheree goes walking out looking for Courtney. However, before Marlo even got to them, and before they started venturing off looking for each other and trying to figure out what happened, Hotel walked over there, and so Monyetta was like, oh yeah, you a topic of discussion. Sheree was like, yeah, you a hot topic over here. And so Hotel's like, why? And so Sheree is like, well, they're trying to say that like you had been messing with some girl out here in Atlanta. And so this narcissistic dingbat had said, well, if I am, that other girl getting the short end of the stick, and that just told me everything that I need to know. Where's coleslaw? You don't feel no type of way about this coleslaw? coleslaw because he talking about you, girl. You getting the short end of the stick, child. He also said every time that he's in Atlanta, he's with Sheree. So he don't really know what they got going on. So Monyetta basically say, okay, so it's over now. It's nothing going on. Martell basically tries to allude to the fact that it was never really nothing going on, but we all know that it was Belinda that he was messing around with. And like I said, we gonna get to his lies in a whole separate video, so y'all just hang on there with me. I gotta get all my reviews out first, but y'all get in the comments and y'all let me know what you think about that whole interaction. So, you know, after that, they kind of just dispersed and went to go find Candy and went to go find Courtney. In the middle of all of that, Ross and Ralph are having a conversation, and Ross, I suggest you stay away from Ralph. Ralph is giving Ross some white Hennessy cigars as a birthday gift, and they just chopping it up. Monyetta and Kenya finally find Candy, and they're like, what happened? Who was finna get into a fight? So Candy started telling a story. So Monyetta and Kenya, I thought this was so funny, started copying the way Courtney acts, and it's like, yeah, she is pretty animated, and they just started bobbing their bobs. Like, that was just such a scene to me. Like, it was so funny. Y'all get in the comments, y'all let me know. I kind of like that type of shade, you know what I'm saying? Just fun, light shade, the type of shade that we just never really get to see on Love and Marriage Huntsville, because they be so insecure over there. Like, just insecure and uptight. Don't know how to take shade, don't know how to dish shade, but always want to be nasty, mean, and just shade. So Sheree finds Courtney, and she finds the rest of the girls, and they start talking and sitting down. And so basically she lets them know, like, if y'all gonna bring me some tea about my man, make sure it's some tea with not have shade. Like, it needs to be all the receipts. Like, I need to know everything that's going on. So Candy was like, but I thought you wanted us to tell you stuff like that. And I get what Candy trying to say. Like, I'm just letting you know that he texted me. I don't think it's a big deal either. I'm just letting you know that he texted me. I think what made it a big deal is the fact that because Sheree and Rhoatl has a storyline, they think people are trying to come at them, when really they just telling you, like, oh, he had reached out to me, he had messaged me. So I am just so appalled at the way that Sheree and Rhoatl acted. So Sanya let the girls know that it's her man's birthday, so she gets up and she leaves, and she let them finish having a conversation, her and Marlo. So Kenya and Candy is trying to explain to Sheree what's going on, and Rhoatl comes over, and because Sheree calls him. And so he basically shows his phone and tells them, like, oh, this was 2 years ago. So Candy was, not Candy, but Kenya was like, well, I already told her, I think it was like over 6 months. And production played it back, and she did say it was maybe 6 months ago. So she said maybe over 6 months ago. So she did say that she didn't really know it was maybe over 6 months ago. So Sheree is explaining to him what's going on, and she's talking to him. And I guess he gets offended because he's not really a man. So he don't understand that when a woman is addressing her man, a woman is going to address her man, and her man is not going to address the woman that is coming to his woman with the issues. So he looks over. He's like, this you? Why she can't talk? So Kenya's like, well, I'm a little bit scared of you. You kind of aggressive. And so he was like, well, if you're going to accuse me of something, then you should be able to defend yourself. So Kenya's like, well, I'm not really accusing you of anything. So Martel then says, who cares if I was in your DM? It was over 2 years ago. And he tried to play Kenya as if she was a whore. That's what all narcissistic men do, because Kenya really didn't even acknowledge him. So now his ego really feels some type of way. So then he was like, well, you probably be opening everybody DM. And like, why was that even necessary? And that's how I know his ego was hurt, because he feels like she probably be open everybody DM, or she probably be opening everybody DM. Sorry, I was talking too fast, and didn't open his DM. And that's just how I took it. Yeah, he was like, I don't care if I was in your DM or tried to F you 2 years. I don't care if I was in your DM 2 years ago, or if I tried to F you 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. So the big issue is no big issue. He tried to say that he was never in the girl DM, and he was. All he had to do was say, oh yeah, I texted her once before, but you know, it wasn't really nothing. But the way that he was responded, very aggressive and angry, antagonistic, that is like not okay. And so I'm very disheartened by the way Sheree is really going to sit on national television and make it seem like black women are trying to belittle him or tear a black man's image down. Y'all are so disgusting and pathetic. This is the problem with black women and just people in our community as a whole. And if y'all don't like what I'm saying, who gives a fuck? Go somewhere else. Don't get in my comments talking about that stupid shit, because this is ridiculous. Y'all have to be able to understand the difference. What Sanya has with her husband is completely different than what Sheree has. Who Ross was in that moment was being a protector to his wife. These are not even comparable situations. Martell did not have to act in that way. Sanya was being ganged up on by multiple women at one time, whereas Sheree was merely asking Martell a question about Kenya, and he didn't have to respond in that way. So for her to be like, oh, y'all trying to paint a narrative and tear a black man down, this whole really laid down and had pillow talk with this bum, and now he got her really up here sounding and looking stupid. So he said that and walked off like a total diva. And so Kenya got up and was like, wait, what did you say? What did you say to this black queen? And of course she gonna go off because you're not finna try to have a moment off of her. And so she was like, Sheree, like I said, what he did to his wife, he'll do to you. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And like I said, it's disheartening and I'm glad production played a scene back to when Bob had said, oh, well, did I choke you? I must not have choked you hard enough, because that scene in itself should make you not even want to be associated with a man like Martell. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't understand, y'all. I can't keep talking about this. Moving on. So Kenya is ready to go home, and I feel her, because the fact that she's really sitting up here caping for Rhoatl out of all people is just so pathetic. Sheree, you look pathetic. You look sad. You look dusty like your man. So go ahead. She's an old geezer. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. It's just older women of a particular age, and then you just got them old nasty ass geezers, and she just one of them. So moving on. So if your feelings is hurt, it's because you classify as an old bitter ass geezer. Okay, like I said, you shouldn't even feel offended. You shouldn't even get in my comments about that comment that I made, because I'm speaking of women of a particular age with a nasty, mean-spirited, weird, male-identified way about themselves. I'm not talking about real women, okay? So again, if you offended, that's on you. Go ahead and unsubscribe. So in the next scene, Kandi is sitting down talking to Sanya, and Sanya basically is telling her how she knows about the other girl, how she met her, what was going on, and the conversation that they had prior to the event. Kandi said, well, did you stick up for me? And basically, Sanya lied and tried to make it seem like she stuck up for her, but the whole time she stuttered over her words, which is why Kandi, in my opinion, went in her confessional and said, I think that she lied and she didn't really stick up for me like she said she did. Because we all know, like, Sanya is just a follower. She's not going to speak up against nobody. The only person she spoke up against is Drew, and that's because majority of the people were against Drew. Sanya is that type of girl. She just going to go along to get along. She's not going to actually stand up against people. She's just going to go along with the crowd. So if majority of the people seemingly have an issue with one person, then she just going to stick with that issue. She's not really going to like pick a side, if that makes any sense, or speak out if the group is bullying or just being outright wrong to somebody. So I don't really respect Sanya in that regard. But they were talking about how they went on a family trip with the kids, and so I just feel like you got to be careful with girls like her. Like, you took this girl on a family trip with your kids, and she sat up in this girl house and let them talk about you. And I feel what Kandi's saying when she said, I need somebody to really take up for me. You don't got to take up for me against the tabloids like Stid Me want Mel to do. But if you sitting down having a conversation with a whole bunch of people and they talking ish about me, I expect for you to not even be involved in the conversation. Or I want them to be so uncomfortable about your presence, they don't even feel comfortable having a conversation about me in front of you, right? But anyways, that's just me. Y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about that. So the next thing is Sanya just hopping all over the town, okay? She's just slithering there everywhere. She's now sitting down and having a conversation with Sheree about what's going on. So Sheree go into this whole fake ass spiel about how black women should not be throwing this narrative around about how angry and aggressive Rhoatl is. And this is where I draw the line with my respect toward this woman, because I think that it's extremely dangerous for women to speak out against male like Rhoatl. It's one thing to be out here protesting for men that ain't vouching for y'all or don't have anything positive to say ever about the black women that raised them. But it's a whole nother thing to try to go on national television and ridicule the next black woman for not idolizing or not hiding the fact that this one particular person is very demonstrative to our group of women. I don't care how you put it. The way that he treats his ex-wife is problematic. If he can do that to his ex-wife who had given him 4 children, what do you think he would do to any one of you broads? Again, this is why I say it's very dangerous. So you have a woman that's ready to speak out against another black woman that ultimately experienced a level of abuse from him, because that is what it is. He's aggressive. He came at her aggressive. He's come at multiple women in an aggressive light. But you have Sheree, who had also been manhandled and ultimately abused by her ex-husband, sticking up for another abuser. So there's always 2 sides to the coin with this type of abuse, right? You have the women that either go through narcissistic abuse and they end up on the other side of it where they're pro women and they totally understand, like, you know, just trying to balance relationships with women and just elevating yourself as a woman and not letting the male patriarchal society pull us down and drag us down into nonsense and laws that aren't beneficial for us. And then you have the other women that had gone through narcissistic abuse and they're so traumatized and broken down from it. They think that that is just who men are. That's just what it is. And they just have to find a different version that isn't so toxic or so off-putting, and so much so to where they literally genuinely attack other women that speak out against those very men that they struggle with. So that's just my spiel on it. I definitely want to do a live about this, but I just got to move on because that's just so disappointing. She's disgusting to me. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. And in the next scene, Kenya is sitting down having a conversation with her friend, and they kind of just joking like, oh, Martel Williams or Martel Jordan, because nobody really know who Hotel Walkie-Talkie, things of that nature really is. And she's basically just giving her perspective about the situation. And I really don't blame Kenya. Sheree says she don't really know where her relationship stands with Kenya, and Kenya says in her confessional that her and Sheree definitely have to have a conversation because she wasn't really expecting all of that. So the next scene was Drew and Ralph going to the studio, and can I just say that shouts out to Drew. I would definitely listen to her music. I love the song. I wish it was out already. I would definitely listen to that type of music. It's giving older R&B. Y'all get in the comments and y'all let me know what you thought of her studio session. I think she sounds amazing. I really love the song. I'm not a fan of Ralph, and we're just going to move on to the next scene. So the next scene is Kenya trying to talk to Sheree about her disposition with this entire situation. Sheree is so disgusting, y'all. So she is trying to basically tell Kenya she's wrong for trying to push the narrative that Martel is an aggressive, angry black man, even though he is an aggressive, angry black man, and it is plastered all over our TV screens twice a week now. Okay, we used to only have to see him and really stomach him once a week, but now we have to stomach him twice a week. Okay, we got to see him twice in 1 week. Y'all be this way. And so y'all get in the comments and y'all let me know. How do y'all feel about the narrative that Sheree is trying to paint Kenya in? I think she's trying to paint Kenya in this nasty, mean light, and I think, like I said, that's dangerous. Why? Because Kenya is a dark-skinned black woman. So the ridicule that she's going to face versus, let's say, somebody that is more fair-skinned is going to be 10 times harsher, especially when there's a woman trying to claim that she's pushing a black man down. I don't know where y'all been in the world, but let's stop acting like these black men really care about the betterment of our community and care about the women and children in our community. Y'all have to stop this bullshit because y'all are actually making it harder for women to grow and get ahead in life. So I don't know. This is a bigger conversation. I think it is disheartening that they are having this conversation like this on this platform, wrongly, might I add, because it's absolutely incorrect. They need to have somebody politically correct up in here to correct her. I hope they have this conversation again during the reunion, and I hope Kenya and everybody else is prepared. And I think we will have more to go based off of when it comes to his aggression when it comes to women. So I don't know, y'all get in the comments. Y'all let me know what you think of this.
Yeah. Work, 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 work. See me, work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. 'Cause some may buy that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, in the girls and Martel.
It's just entertainment purpose. It's not. It's just entertainment purpose. It's not.
In the case of anybody.
This is just entertainment purpose. It's not.